There's a new development on the beneficial ownership reporting requirement, plus a lot more news on today's episode of the Arkansas AgCast, which starts right now.
You're listening to the Arkansas AgCast, where we discuss the latest news, trends, and issues impacting Arkansas farmers and ranchers. Our show is brought to you by the Arkansas Farm Bureau Federation and hosted by Jason Brown and John Nickman.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Sometimes you just get the jitters. And you gotta get
I know what he was doing.
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah, and I like it. I just want to go on record as saying I like it. That
was just for y'all.
It is Wednesday, everybody. Pretend it's Thursday if you're listening.
It is.
We had some stuff come up for tomorrow, so we had to hop in here on Wednesday afternoon, knock this thing out, so we didn't let you down.
Yeah, Jason and Brian were too busy for y'all tomorrow, so we had to schedule it for today.
We had
just so that everybody knows I was here for you tomorrow as well.
Well, and we appreciate your dedication and commitment, unwavering. I'll just say that even though convention is done and behind us,
yes,
the work does not stop.
No.
There's a lot going on this week.
Indeed.
Brian's going to be tied up with some Farm Family of the Year business.
Ooh, we got that Friday, don't we?
Friday, it is. And then I'm headed down south for an event tomorrow. So, yeah, just a lot going on this week.
I don't know.
And then I think we'll start to wind down a little bit.
Yeah, but the thing is, like right after Christmas, you got meeting season. That sounds like kind of just brush that under the rug, but it's constant.
Oh,
January,
we're going to talk a little bit about
February.
It.
It's nonstop.
Well,
state.
I think every season is meeting season.
Yeah, we do a lot of meetings here at
We
Farm
do
Bureau.
a lot of meetings.
Yeah.
We are the meeting people.
But like every association, what we're about to talk about, extension and everybody's meetings seems to be January to February.
Yeah.
Even we're having meetings in January, so
true.
Yeah, you're hosting a meeting.
I am.
Yeah, I mean, you know what it is. I mean, people say, well, guys and gals are kind of out of the field. They're getting a break right now, so let's have some meetings. What's going to happen is in February, one of those days, it's going to be sunny and 50. Yeah. And whatever meeting is happening that day, empty.
Yeah.
As long as it's dry.
True.
But the opposite is true, too. I don't know how many Farmer Gen shows I've been to over the years where snow's falling or rain's falling. It's 35 degrees outside, and that place will be packed out because people are like, well, I can't do any work.
Isn't the Gen Show like usually in April or March?
Whatever the first Saturday in March is.
Okay.
Is generally when it is.
Never been.
Sometimes it's not. So, and what's funny is Saturday is the last day.
Yeah.
So it can be fairly frequently that it starts in February and ends in March because it goes Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's a big show. I mean, really. I mean, it's not on the scale. They generally are on the same weekend or, at the same time as commodity.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing on the scale of commodity.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's the hugest farm show, ag show in the Mid-South, I'd say.
Okay.
I mean, it's really big.
Bigger than our trade show?
Exponentially.
Yeah.
But our trade show, really seeing that, and I know we talked about it last week on the episode, but I mean, it's incredible to see the size and scale of our trade show.
It was significantly and visually larger than last year.
Yeah.
I mean, I could feel it just by working it.
Yeah. I mean, and we had a unique perspective on the episode last week. It's so funny. I went back and watched a little bit of that, and we looked so tiny. on camera. Did you see? It's like, and I know what we were trying to do. We were trying to frame up that backdrop.
Yeah.
And, in the back that had the name of the event and all that, and the sponsor. But the end result was that we look like little people.
I got a question.
Uh-huh.
So when you and I were at the trade show at 6:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock for that radio interview. Mm-hmm. Did you notice they had a little speaker out there in front of the stage, so anybody in the audience, the three of us that were there at 6:30, could hear what they were saying?
Yes.
Is that something we could
We're
do?
going to start doing that. We'll talk to Matthew.
We can do
about
that.
That's cool. All right.
I talked to Matthew about that the other day. We had this idea well before convention. So if somebody want to come watch us record the show, they could hear us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Problem is the two dummies are the ones who had the conversation. We didn't include the smart people who actually do all the production and the wires and cords. And all that
I'm
stuff.
one of the dummies. Is that what you're?
Me and you when it comes to that stuff.
I saw the finger point.
When it comes to that kind of stuff, we don't know. We didn't talk to the right people is what I'm saying. Me and you were like, man, that'd be kind of neat. It'd be great if people could hear it.
Yeah.
But we didn't talk to the people involved. So I think next time we do a show in person, I think we'll be able to do that. Because I wouldn't sit there and listen if I couldn't hear what was being said. You know? I mean, think about Heath's interview that we did at Resolutions. I mean, that would be great if we had some sort of speaker where people could hear what we were actually saying. So
that you're assuming that people want to hear.
it. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. So anyway,
But they wouldn't know that they could listen to it if we didn't give them the option.
Yep. So I think that's something we're gonna work on, especially, you know, one of our goals, getting a little inside baseball here, but trying to get out and do the show more in public.
Yeah.
In 2025, and as part of that, I think having an option, so it's not just you watching people talk; you can actually hear what's being said.
They're excited to have us at Arkansas Grown Conference.
Are they?
In January.
We need to get that on the calendar.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that was official.
I'll one up that. How about I just put the speaker out in the hall so that people can hear that every week?
You know, people crowd
you
around.
can put us on the intercom system.
Oh, I like that.
There you
I
go.
like that.
No matter what you're doing at work today, you have to listen to us.
Yeah, attention. The AgCast is beginning in 5 minutes. Stop your work.
Careful.
That would go over real well.
Hey,
I'm gonna tell you.
what do you think if we record this during lunch in the cafeteria?
Hey, y'all know what though? Speaking of people listening, we had some friends that had a holiday gathering over the weekend last weekend, and we're there and enjoying ourselves. And somebody came up to me and said, "I love your show. I love that podcast that you guys do at Farm
Oh
Bureau."
yeah, this is at like a friend's place.
Yeah. And she said, my dad sends me the links, but he doesn't listen to the show. And then I listen and give him the information. He's a farmer. And I pass the information back to him. So shout out to Lee Conrad and your dad in Crittenden County. Oh. They're in Crawfordsville. Her parents are in Crawfordsville.
Well, thanks for listening and relaying them information.
Yeah, she's an ag teacher. Said that we always share good information. And
awesome.
It's entertaining and, all the things that our family doesn't think about us.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I appreciate the feedback.
Yeah. So anyway, we were talking about convention a minute ago, and I'll just kind of hit that again. Man, attendance seemed to be great. I haven't seen or heard any official numbers.
No, I hadn't either.
On folks, but how many folks were there, but attendance seemed to be great. I heard continuous talk about the farmers market and the gifts that people bought.
Yeah.
We talked about that a little bit on the show last week. I know I purchased some stuff. Matthew did. A lot of people did. So I think that was a winner.
Yeah,
again.
yeah. I think it was a really good thing to have there. It looked a lot better than it did the year before. It was in a good spot too. You know what I mean? Because as people were coming in and out, going to workshops or general session, it was right there.
Yeah.
So they were pretty visible. There were a few people that I think in the first day and a half didn't sell as much as they wanted to, our vendors. But I kind of was like, all right, well, yeah, think about it. People have come all across the state to be here. They may not want to buy anything the first day or beginning of the second day because they don't want to carry it around.
Yeah.
And I sat there and stood and watched kind of towards the end of that last day, and more people started to flood in there. So then I had several of those farmers market people just like, oh, thank you so much. This was great.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. So that was cool.
I went back on Thursday afternoon trying to catch them before it closed down because I'd spotted something I wanted to buy as a Christmas gift.
Yeah.
Gone. It was gone. I should have jumped on it when I had the time, but I didn't, and I regretted it immediately. But the lady was kind enough to give me her business card and say, reach out to me. I'll get you.
I always like to say, if you don't buy it now, you'll never buy it.
You can take your own medicine on that deal.
Look what happened. You didn't buy it when you were there.
Yeah, I know. But I'm glad to hear that they felt like it was worthy. We, as a department, we were kind of talking about this earlier in the week, and we have a recommendation for you.
For me?
For you specifically.
Man, I don't know if I want
to. You've been known to call that farmer's market your baby.
Monster.
So as the father of that farmer's market, we have a recommendation. There should be maybe a sponsor can do this, where if you purchase protein, you get a styrofoam cooler.
Oh. So are we providing the styrofoam cooler?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm just hearing the squeaks of the lid.
Well, I think,
in the back of the car.
It started.
I don't have anything against it. What about like?
It started with, hey, we should remind people as part of the farmers market promotion, bring a cooler, because I wanted to buy some protein, especially the pork, but I didn't bring a cooler down there with me. I didn't think about that.
What about the cooler bags?
Cooler bags might be fine.
Those would be a little bit more logistically easier to.
More expensive, but
yeah.
So anyway, it's just a thought for you.
I'm not against it.
Maybe they're for purchase for a low rate. Maybe those go in the store. I don't know. But a way for folks, if they choose to buy the protein, they can keep it cold.
Yeah, I told the people that were selling protein when we accepted them for the farmer's market. It's like, like I said earlier, keep in mind these people are coming from all around the state. Don't go into it thinking you're going to sell a bunch today or at the farmer's market. This is an opportunity for you to get sales that you can mail to people or deliveries or get your name out there and promote yourself that they know where you are. They may buy a sample or a small amount or something if they're from that general area or going back home. But the year before, I think a lot of people brought these giant coffin freezers.
Yeah, right.
And thought they were going to sell a bunch. And it bothered me that I kind of disappointed them that way. So.
Yeah. Well, I know Amy, Gum Creek Farms, she was out of meat completely, but she said, she has those other products that she sells, and she told me her resellers in Pulaski County, so it was super helpful.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Huh. St. Joseph's and Mia McGee, she sells that.
Yeah.
So if you have alpha cow or you're interested in emu meat, you can check with St. Joseph's or Mia McGee and pick you some up.
Yeah.
I did not know she had Central Arkansas retailers or resellers. So
I have seen it at both locations.
Have you really?
I have.
Okay. So there you go.
Was there a favorite farmer's market spot that you liked?
That the first lady, I can't remember the name of her booth, but the lady who did the things with wood, she had some Christmas ornaments. She had some all kinds of stuff right there. Her stuff was really cool.
Across from the cutting boards?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she
that's
did a good job.
Yeah.
I liked all those mugs.
The mugs were cool.
Crow's work, I think, is...
The pottery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But all those people were really nice and fun. They were easy to work with. And
yeah.
So happy to have y'all, and thanks for coming if you're listening.
Yeah. The other thing we did at convention was give out a ton of awards. And we won't go through all the winners of the awards here, but we gave the President's Award for the best, the top county Farm Bureau, member retention award, women's leadership awards, Diamond Award, Stanley Reed Leadership Award, Wife in Our Discussion Meet winner, Outstanding Ag Educator, Outstanding New Ag Educator, Outstanding Ag Program. I mean, there was a ton of awards that go out, and we sent out a press release for just about every award that was given.
Yeah.
If you missed any of that, A, you can go and see it on our social channels. So go do that. B, you can go to ArFB.com, our website, and go to the news page and catch up. There's a lot of photos there. Like I said, a press release on each one of the winners, so on and so forth. And that was really cool to see those.
I think we had
awards.
a part to play in the winner of the Stanley E. Reed Award.
I think so. I mean, we certainly elevated.
I think we did. I think that was the icing on the cake.
Yeah. So congrats to the Arkansas AgCast peanut consultant, Heath Donner. He won the Stanley Reed Leadership Award.
Yeah. But that goes two ways, or that streak goes both ways. You know, if Heath's propping up our show too at the same time.
I agree. We hooked him up with a sticker.
Yeah.
While he was there. If you didn't know, our wonderful logo we have made into stickers, and we had some on hand at the convention, and we will have them around anytime you are around. So
Pretty
us up.
handy. I see 5 of them right now.
Yeah.
So
how about that? Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah, I'm pointing at the wall behind us like that's a sticker, but we've got them right here. So anyway. All right, I think that's enough about convention.
Commodity meetings.
Commodity meetings. How about that?
Yeah, we got winter commodity meetings coming up January 14th. And that's kind of where our policy development process starts for the year, where each commodity division, we have 12 or 13 now?
Yeah.
Divisions. It's my department. You have to figure I'd know that off the top of my head. But, that's where all the divisions will meet. It's going to be in Little Rock at the Embassy Suites. Registration usually starts about 8 o'clock, and I think the first meeting starts around 9:30. So be ready. Please attend. I think what we said the other day, I'll echo again, is that our jobs are dictated on what happens on your farm. And if you're not there to tell us what's going on, then we're kind of at a loss, right? So the best way to put that.
Yep.
We do best and work for you in the best capacity we can with the information that you provide.
Yep.
So
without that input and guidance.
And that's kind of where that starts. And it gives us guidance as staff to do what we need to do, as well as help develop those policies.
Yeah.
And focus on whatever legislation, laws, rules, taxes, you name it.
Yeah.
That's going to happen or could happen or what happened last year that we need to be in front of.
Yep.
And it's a good time, and we have really good speakers. I'm not sure who the general session speaker is yet, but that we usually have a fairly big name, at least within the state, that comes and speaks to that. And you'll get a lunch.
Yeah. How about that? Can I request fried chicken?
Sure, as long as there's rice.
Oh, well, a little bit of both. How about that? I don't know. Embassy has pretty good fried chicken.
Yeah, Embassy's got good fried chicken. I'm sure they'll have a chicken fried steak there, too.
Well,
so you could have both.
That'll put me to sleep. I don't really need that. But anyway, speaking of meetings, also University of Arkansas Extension has published a schedule of their winter ag production meetings. Now, these meetings really go into January, February, and March. We're not going to go through that. We would put you to sleep if we talked about that. But we'll give a quick rundown of the January meetings here. Please note that the meeting times could be subject to change due to inclement weather or other factors. For the latest and greatest information and location, they recommend that you contact your local extension office for that. But the first meeting will be kicking off January 9th in Conway County, and that's for corn and soybeans. The 10th will be in Poinsett and Craighead County. It'll be for Craighead and Poinsett counties for rice and beans. Greene County on January 16th for technology. On January 24th, Miller, Little River, and Lafayette counties, corn, cotton, soybeans, and rice. January 30th in the morning will be in Cross County for corn, rice, and soybeans. In the afternoon, they'll be in White County for corn, rice, and soybeans. The 31st of January, that morning meeting is in Greene County to cover corn, rice, and soybeans. And then in the afternoon, they'll travel over to Clay County for corn, rice, and soybeans. So,
sounds like in those meetings you'll get a big, heavy dose of our good friends, Dr. Ryan Loy and Dr. Hunter Byram.
Yeah, I believe so.
Which they do a really good job.
Yeah, they do. So try and make plans to make one of those. Again, for locations, exact times, other details, all that good information, reach out to your county extension office.
Absolutely.
They can give you some all the deets on that, as the kids say. That's all I got. What else?
I was going to bring up fantasy football.
Yeah.
Brian, if you had to guess, out of the two people sitting at this table, which ones made the playoffs?
Well, possibly the gentleman to your left.
To my left. Well, if that is your guess, you'd be wrong. Not because I did, because neither one of us made the playoffs this year.
The answer is C. None of the above.
I thought you were being gracious there for a minute.
Yeah,
I was going to guess you, but so both of you are out of it. Okay.
Who's there?
All right.
Neither one of us made it.
Okay.
So we're watching from the
good.
couch.
Yeah. I hadn't even been paying attention to it. As soon as I realized I didn't make it,
Okay.
I did.
I even stopped watching the NFL.
I did go look, and all the people who were supposed to win won.
Yeah.
Meaning the higher ranking opponent won and all that.
I went in, I think Thanksgiving week was the last week of the season, the regular season for the fantasy league.
Yeah.
And I just went into like holiday mode and forgot about it. My kicker was out. And I lost by like 2 points.
Oh man!
And I think that's what kept me out of the playoffs.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna give you.
But it's like I didn't deserve to get in the playoffs if that's the way I'm going to manage my team, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yes, you're doing a horrible job, John.
I did a terrible job.
Yeah, you've given yourself an F. I would like to make a prediction.
All right.
That Danette Span will win for a second time in 3 seasons.
That is a safe bet, I would say.
I hope I don't jinx her by doing that.
I will say this is not because it's anything against Danette. I just prefer somebody new to win it because it brings diversity to our trophy. Am I a little jealous? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But for somebody that complained about it being an auction draft this year, she's done great.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you, the other pick for me would probably be Will, but they're playing each other in this round. So
I was really hoping Matthew would really step it up.
So Danette, Will, Matthew, and Jenny, congratulations to making it to the second round of the playoffs. They are in the semifinal this week. And then next week we'll have a championship.
Yeah, and I saw the trophy in Jared Yates' office the other day.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, buddy, you're going to have to give that up this year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He didn't make the playoffs either, by the way. So, anyway.
All right. Well, you want to get into some stories? That's why we're here, aren't we?
I think we should, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll start us off. Over the last year, we've been trying to stay on top of the new business reporting requirements by the federal government, specifically the Financial Crimes Reporting Network, which is a Treasury Department agency, so that we can pass that information on to our members. However, this has been a contentious topic and private information issue for many farmers, so much so that a ruling on this issue was made by a federal judge out of Texas last week. Just for some background here, for those that don't know what's going on, the disclosure requirement from the federal government, which required small businesses, including farms, to start filing reports disclosing their ownership, was intended to combat money laundering and other financial crime. The deadline for businesses to file the disclosure reports is currently January 1st, but I haven't heard whether or not this is going to change. According to the American Farm Bureau, it was estimated that more than 230,000 farms across the country were required to file a report. The requirements have affected farms operated as LLCs, including those with a single member, as well as limited partnerships and S&C corporations. So last week, U.S. District Judge Amos L. Mazant, would you say Mazant or Mazant?
Yeah.
Of the Eastern District of Texas blocked the federal government's reporting requirement, stating that the Corporate Transparency Act was likely unconstitutional. Judge Mazant was quoted saying, first, it represents a federal attempt to monitor companies created under state law, a matter our federalist system has left almost exclusively to several states. Second, the CTA ends a feature of corporate formation as designed by various states anonymity.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I was going to stumble through that.
Oh, you did pretty well.
So AFBF President Zippy Duvall also commented on this ruling. He said that farmers and ranchers across the country have faced great uncertainty since the passage of the Corporate Transparency Act in early 2021, and as the beneficial ownership information regulations have been written. Questions are swirling about who is required to file and who will have access to the confidential data being collected. So as of now, this issue is up in the air, and it's up in the air as, kind of to where it goes from here.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't know if the final reporting date has changed any, if they're still required to report. I'm assuming they're not.
Yeah, no, I think that's what the injunction does is kind of nulls that January 1 reporting deadline.
Yeah.
That being said, I think there's two things to watch here. Number one, sometimes you'll see these injunctions in one district be overturned by a judge in another district. So, of course, if there's further changes, we'll report on it here.
Yeah.
Likely not to happen before January 1st, but
I don't see it happening.
But the other thing I think to keep in mind here is there's a new administration coming in, and very likely, I would assume, just based on what I know, that administration could make changes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I know the CTA was passed by Congress, so I don't really know what the legal path is for that. But I could imagine that for instance, the new administration not challenging in court the injunction.
Yeah.
Right.
Or the incoming president could potentially make affirmative action, right?
Executive order. Is that what you're thinking about? Yeah.
Now,
so
this isn't going to be at the top of that individual's list by any means.
No, I don't think that'd be at the top of the priority list at all. But not fighting this, not taking the DOJ or somebody out to argue against this, DOL, whoever it would be, I think would be an understandable outcome, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
To not try and pursue this in court.
Yeah.
So again, this is all speculation by John and Jason. I mean, we don't have any information about that, but
we need a speculation correspondent.
We are speculation correspondents. Like that should actually be our titles.
Done.
But
I'm about to ready to print new business cards. Maybe that's what I put on there.
I can make that happen.
You're an economist, of course. You're a speculation correspondent. I mean, you know what I mean.
I paid you money for that.
Anyway, I think it takes some pressure off people because, as we reported on this show before, up to 230,000 American farms could have been impacted by this filing deadline. Simple LLCs, even with fewer than 50 employees,
I can't remember what the fine was.
Oh,
remember what the fine was if you didn't file?
$5,000 jail time. It's a felony.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was really stiff penalties. So what's interesting, we're not going to report on this today. What's interesting is there's also been an injunction on the banning of Chinese land ownership in Arkansas. And the reason I bring that up is because part of finding that out could be something like this beneficial ownership reporting. So anyway, there's a lot going on in that space, that is to say.
It's interesting.
So, all right, well, let's start off my portion of the news today with an update on the Farm Bill, something that's definitely drawn more attention as the year winds down and a new administration is preparing to take the White House. Thanks to reporting from the Arkansas Advocate for this story. We relied on reporting from Cammie Coons to bring the story to you today. Just a small editorial note. A couple of these things would have been better served to be reported last week. They would have been more timely, I should say.
Yeah.
But because of the nature of the program last week and kind of, everything that's been going on, you may have seen or heard some of this news previously. So apologies if you're hearing it for a second time from us or if it feels late. All right, back to it here. So Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds, along with governors from 16 other states, including Governor Sanders of Arkansas, signed a joint letter urging Congress to reauthorize the Farm Bill and to provide immediate financial assistance. I believe this is a week ago, this past Monday, to the agriculture sector. The Farm Bill was last authorized in 2018, and after failing to reauthorize it on the typical 5-year schedule in 2023, Congress extended the 2018 Farm Bill through the 2024 fiscal and crop year. I believe you were on that. You were reporting on that extension during our convention show last year, John, somewhere around there. Now, Congress failed again in the 2024 regular session to pass a new Farm Bill. And now lawmakers are weighing the option of passing another extension of the bill before final provisions of the extension expire at the end of the year. We've talked about that several times here. But the group of GOP governors is asking Congress to pass a new version of the massive bill rather than extend the outdated 2018 bill another year. The governors pointed to inflation, high input costs, high interest rates, natural disasters, and agricultural trade deficits as powerful headwinds the sector has faced since the expiration of the 2018 Farm Bill. In mid-November, Senator Debbie Stabenow, Democrat of Michigan, chair of the Senate Ag Committee, issued an updated version of the Rural Prosperity and Food Security Act from earlier in the year that could serve as a new Farm Bill if passed. The updates include $39 billion in new resources for farmers' families participating in the SNAP program in rural communities. According to its summary, Republican lawmakers have been unsupportive of that bill. As a matter of fact, they have passed a bill out of the House Ag Committee already. Mm-hmm. Separately, there's a push for an emergency relief to be provided to farmers immediately. Farm Bureau has taken a major role in that push, and Senator John Bozeman has always been a proponent of that effort. Additionally, Congressman Rick Crawford of Arkansas is a co-signer on a piece of legislation in the House that we have reported on here previously called the Farm Act.
Yes. You know, as your national news speculation correspondent,
yes,
Farm Bill by the end of the year,
not happening.
Not happening.
Yeah.
I would like it to. I don't think it's going to. The Farm Act or, some emergency relief, there's a better chance of that happening before the end of the year, but I don't see it.
There's a lot to do in 2 weeks.
Yeah, was it the 20th?
Actually, it's really a week and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know when holiday recess starts either.
I think it's the 20th.
Yeah.
I don't know why I think that, though.
So that'd be that'd be a week from Friday. So.
I don't know why that number's
I will tell you there's some things, some new. We talked about Farm Bureau taking a major role in that push for that emergency relief. I will tell you that there's some things happening this week that we'll be able to talk about next week on that front. So that's exciting too. But anyway, yep. So new Farm Bill, we need it. Lots of folks are being very vocal.
We should definitely add that
about
Senator Bozeman and Crawford's efforts and the rest of the delegation. We really appreciate that.
Been helpful, yes.
It's been huge to have y'all there.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, we'll take a break here.
Are you tired of one-size-fits-all health coverage? Welcome to Farm Bureau Health Plans of Arkansas, where you're in control. As a benefit of Arkansas Farm Bureau membership, you could save up to 40% compared to traditional coverage. Plus, you get comprehensive benefits, can enroll anytime, and access to Arkansas Blue Cross and Blue Shield's comprehensive network. Arkansas, we've got you covered. To join Arkansas Farm Bureau or find your plan, contact your county agent or visit arfbhealthplans.com.
So, I got one more story of the week. Also, this story coming from last week.
Yeah.
Since we were a little late.
Yeah.
But USDA has announced a new federal order that will begin the national milk testing strategy to address H5N1 in dairy herds.
Oh, yeah.
The National Milk Testing Strategy, or NMTS, builds on measures taken by USDA APHIS and federal and state partners since the outbreak of the highly pathogenic avian influenza, H5N1 in dairy cattle, was first detected in March 2024. The new federal order will require that raw or unpasteurized milk samples nationwide be collected and shared with USDA for testing, and the new guidance will facilitate comprehensive H5N1 surveillance of the nation's milk supply and dairy herds. According to the USDA, the NMTS is designed to increase USDA's and public health partners' understanding of the virus's spread in the United States through a structured, uniform, and mandatory testing system that will help swiftly identify which states and specific herds within them are affected with H5N1. It will also support the rapid implementation of enhanced biosecurity measures to decrease the risk of transmission to other livestock and, importantly, inform critical efforts to protect farm workers to help lower their risk of exposure. USDA believes this additional step is needed to proactively support effective biosecurity measures, which is key for states and farms to contain and eliminate H5N1 infections from their livestock and to eliminate HPAI in livestock across the U.S. dairy population. A federal order released today makes last week, makes three new requirements. First, it requires the sharing of raw milk samples upon request from any entity responsible for a dairy farm, bulk milk transporter, bulk milk transfer station, or dairy processing facility that sends or holds milk intended for pasteurization. Second, the federal order requires herd owners with positive cattle to provide epidemiological information that enables activities such as contact tracing and disease surveillance. And finally, the USDA's April 24 federal order, it requires that private laboratories and state veterinarians report positive results to USDA that come from tests done on raw milk samples drawn as part of the NMTS. The first round of silo testing under the federal order in the NMTS is scheduled to begin the week of December 16th, 2024, although some states are already conducting testing compatible with the new NMTS. This new federal order does not override or supersede USDA's April 24 federal order, which still requires the mandatory testing of lactating dairy cows prior to interstate shipment, and requires that all privately owned laboratories and state veterinarians report positive test results connected with those alerts. So I'm not going to go through all the details of this. Is going to be broken down into 5 different stages. This testing. Basically, states will start testing mandatorily, and as positive test numbers shrink, you'll go up to the next stage. Yeah, stage 2.
Yeah,
and once they continue to decline even more, they'll go to the next stage. There's 5 total stages. With the 4th stage or the 5th stage being the last 2 are mainly just monitoring stages.
Yeah, really.
Making sure that the disease is gone. And then also I think the last stage is starting to scale down how much testing they're doing, just to make sure that disease isn't there. But the following 6 states will be included in the first round of the program. It'll be California, Colorado, Michigan, Mississippi, which is the only southern state here, Oregon, and Pennsylvania. We don't have like the number of dairies that some of these states do.
Right.
But this still is going to pertain to us. And we've already had to do some sort of testing because, like this was said earlier, if you're transporting across state lines,
right,
you couldn't have a positive test, animal testing across that threshold. So it'll be interesting to see how quickly this is concluded.
Yep.
Or how far it goes on, and if this kind of slows anything down.
Well, just now getting into the cold weather season.
Yeah. It could come back up.
And I think just this week, maybe last week, maybe towards the end of last week, but I know this week we had a backyard flock. Again, I know we're talking about dairy right now, but a backyard flock of poultry test positive in Arkansas. And then we had a commercial flock test positive, if I'm not mistaken, here in the state of Arkansas, and one right across the state line in Oklahoma. So,
and I don't know, I can't remember if it was last year before, but avian influenza went rampant through geese and wild duck and geese populations.
Yeah.
And I've been kind of hearing some reports of people finding
Game and Fish have said something about that too. So finding dead geese in fields, and especially in the Delta region. I should say too, to promote the work of your department, I believe Jake Cartwright is sending out this afternoon, meaning Wednesday. He's sending out a dairy. An email, a commodity division update newsletter. Goodness, couldn't put my words together, to dairy and small ruminants division. So if you're in either one of those commodity division you should get an email about this with with more information and more details.
Yeah.
If not, you can always call your team and ask about it.
Yeah. If you can't get a hold of either one of, whether it be Jake Cartwright or Jared Garrett, who are the dairy and small ruminant people in our department, respectively, just give me a holler and I'll point you in the right direction.
That's right.
Or I can read you off my script again.
I think that's what you should do. If someone calls, you should say, "Well, if you'll give me just a second."
If you'll give me 15 minutes,
And then
I'll
you
read
say,
you the
last
full
week,
script.
USDA announced, and you just start from the top.
Yeah, I could.
I like that.
Okay.
I'd like to be in the room for that.
Yeah, I've been called out before on the show for not or talking about something I knew nothing about. So I have a
You
feeling-
think we got a problem with that?
No, I wouldn't
You
say
think
it was
we're
you.
bothered? No, I'm saying you think we're bothered about talking about something we don't know about?
And I'm sure that particular amazing fan will also have something to say about this too. We're happy you listen. That's for
You
sure.
think that we're deterred by talking about something that we don't know about? We're about to really prove ourselves after I read
Sometimes
this
I think
story.
that keeps people listening.
I do too, because they're like, let's see what the
See
yahoos
if
have
he-
to say about this topic.
I guarantee it does.
All right. Well, look, as long as we're delivering news for the ag industry, we should probably give ourselves a bit of coverage here. Speaking of, we talked about convention earlier, but we didn't officially go over board elections and leadership elections and policy positions. So thought we'd cover that real quick. I'll tell you, Dan Wright of Waldron was reelected Friday, which was December 6th, as Arkansas Farm Bureau's president. Mike Freeze of Little Rock will continue as vice president. And both were elected during our state convention business session at the Hot Springs Convention Center. Voting delegates there elected Mark Williams of Lavaca to the state board of directors and reelected 7 board members, all serving 2-year terms. Those were Megan Allen, Terry Dabbs, Brad Doyle, Jason Henson, Caleb Plyler, and Dana Stewart. Now, Dan, I'm sorry, but I am going to give your age here. 64 was selected. It was part of the press release. It was selected for his second term as president. He has served 11 years on the state board, including 4 years as secretary of treasurer before he was elected president. If you don't know by now, Dan is a poultry farmer and hay producer. Mike Freeze, who's 72, begins his 6th term as vice president. He operates Keogh Fish Farm, the largest hybrid striped bass hatchery in the world. Mike is a past chairman of the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. Congrats to both those gentlemen. And then later, the board acted to elect Terry Dabbs of Stuttgart as secretary treasurer for his 2nd term in that role. Terry's a row crop farmer from Stuttgart. May have mentioned that. He's been on the board of directors since 2004, so 2 decades of leadership there. Terry and his family grow rice, soybeans, wheat, oats, and corn. Voting delegates also addressed a range of state and federal policy issues, including increased funding for the University of Arkansas Division of Agriculture and continued agricultural sales tax exemptions with added identification structure. The group also voted to support economic initiatives for rural counties, conservation district funding, private property rights, and the right to farm. Delegates also approved policy supporting immediate economic assistance for farmers and ranchers and a quick passage of a new federal farm bill that adequately addresses the current needs of the agriculture industry, which is what we were just talking about. So a lot happened last week in addition to the trade show, the workshops, the keynotes, all that stuff. Well, we got a lot of business done on Friday, Friday morning. So just wanted to mention that before we get out of here.
Yeah, I thought it was a good session.
Absolutely, it was. So, all right. Well, I think that is that's the news for the week.
That is the news.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a while.
It has.
Are you guys ready?
No.
And I know you are. You're ready?
Man, it has been a while.
It's been over 2 weeks for me, I think.
It has. Oh, it's been longer than that.
Yeah.
Well, we had Thanksgiving and then I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
you were
trying to
out
figure
the
out
week
fun.
before Thanksgiving. We were off Thanksgiving. You didn't do it last week. So it's 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad to have it back.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Well, very good. So,
And I think for that, you should kick us off.
Okay.
Do you want to pick or do you want me to pick for you?
Well, I've always had the option to pick, right? I'd like to keep
Yeah.
that.
Oh.
All right. So today it is.
Is there something specific you want to ask
He
me?
might have done you
Well-
a favor, is what I was going to say.
Maybe. Well, I don't.
Maybe.
I don't know.
This board has a lot of science on it. So
Science. Okay.
do you want science?
What do you mean by science?
Science.
Oh, science.
For Christmas, he's getting a new set of earmuffs. Earmuffs.
I keep turning it up in
earphones.
his earphones.
At least I was, confused by it. As long as I'm just
Signs. What are you talking about? Signs.
At least I didn't say street signs. Yeah, give me that one.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Fair.
So do you
Science.
want science?
Sure. Why not?
All right.
Sounds like that's one he wanted me to take.
I think it is.
What word describes 1/10 of a nautical mile?
A knot?
No, that's a wind measurement.
What?
1/10 of a nautical mile.
I gave you my answer.
A knot. He says a knot.
It is not a knot.
I see what you did there.
It's a double negative, isn't it?
Not when you put the K in there. What's the answer?
Cable.
Cable. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
How about that?
I don't want science.
Okay. So
So,
we need to pick something else then.
yeah, I don't. You didn't tell us what's on there. You just said there's a lot of science.
Entertainment, arts.
Oh, okay. So the
Geography.
usual. Let's go with arts. What are you cracking up about?
I had the same problem. He's just
Hey,
what do you want?
He's being dodgy. Isn't
Look,
he?
I think science is the clear answer. Okay. Who played Alexander Hamilton in the musical Hamilton?
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Man, he's good.
Yeah.
See, we picked his niche.
Yeah.
So-
I
Yeah.
don't even know what you said, man.
Well, you don't need to.
I've gotten
All
this
right.
far without knowing it. So,
All right. So what would you like?
what was it? Science, entertainment. What else?
Geography.
You're asking him. It's only science.
It is.
There's not any history in there.
I can refresh, but
Sure, why not? We're here.
okay.
That doesn't mean it'll pop up.
Oh, here's history.
Oh yes,
I
baby.
didn't like that tone.
So-
though. I did not.
How many transatlantic trips did the Titanic make before sinking?
That was its maiden voyage, wasn't it?
I'm not answering that question because I have my own answer.
You picked this one, so
I'm going to say it technically did not make any.
0.
very good.
Nicely
0.
done. Nicely
0.
done.
Made 0.
I watched that movie 7 times in theater.
Good Lord. That's like 86 hours worth of movie
Hey,
watching.
man. I was in middle school or junior high.
You were into it?
All the girls wanted to go see it.
Big Leo fan?
Yeah.
Were you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very
good.
I did go see it once with a girl.
Yeah.
All right, I'll round us out. One more, I guess.
Okay.
Let's
One more.
do entertainment. We'll get out of here.
Entertainment. Which band member of The Who died of a drug overdose?
Keith Moon. I believe I'm
Keith Moon.
2 for 2 today.
Yes.
That's correct.
He was wild. Drove a car into a pool one time. A lot of good Keith Moon stories out there.
There you are.
All right.
Kind of like a Joel Walsh.
I think he's wilder.
Yeah, I think you would be wilder.
Wilder than Joe Walsh and John Belushi.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Keith Moon was a party animal. All right. Well, listen, that wraps up the news for this week. Thanks for following along with the Arkansas AgCast. We're grateful for you taking the time to watch and listen.
Of course. Remember, you can catch new episodes of the show every Thursday afternoon. Find video episodes on Facebook and YouTube. Listen to the audio version wherever you listen to podcasts.
And make sure and leave us a review when you have a few extra minutes. The Arkansas AgCast is brought to you by the Arkansas Farm Bureau. I'm Jason Brown,
And I'm John McMinn.
and we'll see you next week.